The power of silence, turning disrespect into your greatest strength. You ever find yourself in a moment where someone comes at you sideways? They disrespect you outright, maybe it's words, maybe it's a look, maybe it's a tone that cuts deeper than they realize. And everything in you, every fiber of your being, wants to snap back. Your heart's racing. Your fists clench. Your mind's running 100 miles an hour, crafting the perfect response that will shut them down, leave them speechless. But let me tell you something. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. I know. That might sound crazy at first. What do you mean, nothing? They disrespected me. I'm supposed to stand up for myself, right? But hear me out, because I'm not telling you to let them walk all over you. I'm telling you that silence, when used the right way, can be the strongest move you'll ever make. Silence can say more than words ever could. Silence can be a weapon, a tool you wield to protect your peace, guard your dignity, and flip the script on those who thought they had the upper hand. The strength in silence. When someone disrespects you, what they're really looking for is your reaction. They want to provoke you, pull you into their chaos. Maybe they're angry at the world, maybe they're insecure, maybe they're jealous of something in you that they can't find in themselves. Disrespect, more often than not, is a reflection of what's going on inside them, not you. It's a projection. They throw their negativity, their frustration, their weakness, hoping you'll catch it. Hoping you'll throw it right back. They want you to play their game because when you do, you hand them the power. But when you stay quiet, when you refuse to engage, when you simply let them be, that's when the power shifts. Suddenly, they're left alone with their mess, their words, their actions. And trust me, that silence eats at them. We live in a world where everybody feels like they have to respond to everything. Somebody says something slick on social media, we're quick to clap back. A rude text comes through, we fire one right back, maybe even harder. It's like a competition, who can hit harder, faster, louder. But what happens when you don't? What happens when you let their words bounce off you like they never even touched you? When you hold your head high, let your silence speak for itself, and keep walking? I'll tell you what happens, they lose. Let them sit in their own disrespect. Here's the thing, when someone disrespects you and you don't respond, you're forcing them to sit in the mess they created. They thought they were going to ruin your day, make you mad, drag you down. But when you don't take the bait, they're left sitting there, staring at the mess they made, with no one to blame but themselves. That disrespect they thought would hurt you? It boomerangs right back to them. It starts to poison them. Because here's the truth, when you respond to disrespect, you're stepping into their energy. You're playing their game, at their level, by their rules. But when you choose silence, you elevate yourself above it. Fire burns everything down, even you. We've been conditioned to think strength means fighting back. That if someone comes at you, you have to come at them harder. Fight fire with fire, they say. But let me tell you something about fire. Fire doesn't just burn the person you aim it at. Fire burns everything, including you. Silence, though? Silence doesn't destroy. Silence disarms. Silence makes people uncomfortable because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do when you don't play the game they set up. And that discomfort? That's when they start to crumble. You ever notice how someone who disrespects you keeps coming back for more when you respond? They escalate. They push harder. They dig deeper, trying to get more of a reaction out of you. Why? Because they know they've got you hooked. They know they've pulled you into their negativity. But if you stop responding, if you step back and remove yourself from the back and forth, they're left with nothing. No opponent. No fuel for their fire. Just their own negativity, burning them from the inside out. The mirror effect of silence. Here's the thing about silence, it's like a mirror. When someone disrespects you and you don't respond, they're forced to reflect on what they said, what they did. And let me tell you, most people don't like what they see when they look in that mirror. That's why they keep poking, keep pushing, keep trying to get a reaction out of you. Because if they can get you to react, they can justify their behavior. See? They snapped back. I was right to come at them. But without your reaction, without your engagement, they have nothing to stand on. They're left with only themselves. And for a lot of people, that's the hardest thing to face. Silence is not weakness, it's power. Let's get one thing straight, choosing silence is not about being weak. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about understanding your worth. Your silence says, I'm not going to lower myself to your level. I know who I am, and I'm not going to let you take me out of my peace. And that silence? It's a power move. It shows strength, control, and self-worth. It says, you don't control me. Your words, your actions, your negativity, they don't define me. When you respond with silence, you're not giving them the satisfaction of seeing you upset. You're showing them that their disrespect means nothing to you. And trust me, that's the ultimate revenge. How to master the power of silence. Pause before you react. When someone disrespects you, take a deep breath. Don't let your emotions control you. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. Focus on your peace. Your peace is priceless. Protect it at all costs. Let them reflect. Remember, your silence forces them to face themselves. Flip the script on disrespect. The next time someone disrespects you, remember this, you have the power to flip the script. You don't have to engage. You don't have to fight fire with fire. Instead, let your silence speak. Let it show them that you're unbothered, unmoved, untouchable. Because at the end of the day, silence isn't just the absence of words. Silence is a statement. It's strength. It's power. And when you master it, there's nothing anyone can say or do to take that power away from you. So the next time someone comes at you, trying to pull you into their negativity, remember, the loudest voice in the room isn't the strongest. Sometimes, the strongest person is the one who doesn't say a word. And in that silence, you win. Every single time. The unshakable power of silence, a game changer in life. You've been there. Someone says something disrespectful, cuts you down, tries to belittle you. And everything in you is screaming to fire back, to defend yourself, to hit them with the perfect comeback. It's human nature. It's instinct. But let me tell you something, the most powerful response you can give, the one that hits harder than words ever could, is silence. Now, I know what you're thinking. Silence? How can silence be strong? How can silence be powerful? Let me break it down for you. Staying silent isn't about letting people get away with disrespect. It's about playing a different game, a smarter game. It's about showing that your worth, your sense of self, doesn't hinge on their words or their opinions. Silence, the unshakable strength. When you choose not to respond, you're making a bold statement, you don't control me. Your words don't define me. I know who I am. That kind of strength? It's unshakable. You see, life is about picking your battles. Not every fight is worth fighting. Not every jab or insult deserves your energy. There are people, situations, and moments that just aren't worth the time it takes to react. When you stay silent, you're conserving your power. You're saving that energy for the things that truly matter, the battles that actually deserve your attention. Every time you don't respond, you're saying, I'm above this. I'm better than this. And believe me, that hits harder than any comeback you could throw their way. The mirror effect, making them face themselves. Here's something most people don't realize, disrespect is rarely about you. It's almost always about them. People who thrive on negativity and tearing others down are often deeply insecure. It's easier for them to project their issues onto others than to face what's broken within themselves. When you stay quiet, you hold up a mirror to their behavior. You make them sit with their own insecurity, their own negativity. You're not feeding into their need for validation and that lack of reaction. It kills them. Because disrespect, at its core, is a cry for validation. They want to feel powerful. They want to feel important. And they think the only way to achieve that is by tearing someone else down. But when you don't react, you're sending a clear message, your tactics don't work on me. And without your reaction, their words lose all meaning. They're left wrestling with the very insecurity that drove them to lash out in the first place. Silence speaks volumes. When you choose silence, you're saying more than words ever could. You're showing the world that you're not moved by trivial things. You're proving that your self-respect and inner peace are untouchable. You're demonstrating that you have the strength to rise above pettiness. And here's the beauty of it: when you're not constantly defending yourself, you create space to focus on what truly matters, space to grow, space to thrive. Because let's be real, your energy is precious. Your time is valuable. Why waste it on people who don't deserve it? When you respond to every insult, every slight, every bit of disrespect, you're sending a message: I'm easily rattled. I can be pulled off course. But when you hold your silence, you're showing that you're grounded, confident, and unshakable. And that kind of confidence? It's rare. It's powerful. It's magnetic. Confidence that commands respect. The truth is, people take notice of silence. Those who respect you will admire your restraint. Those who don't, they'll eventually get tired of trying to tear you down when they realize it's not working. This isn't about letting people walk all over you. It's about redefining what it means to stand up for yourself. Standing up for yourself doesn't always mean speaking out. Sometimes, it means standing firm in who you are, without engaging in the noise around you. Defending your honor doesn't mean getting into a verbal sparring match with someone who isn't worth your time. It means carrying yourself with dignity, no matter how others behave. It means knowing, deep in your soul, that your worth isn't up for debate. The control of silence. When you stay quiet in the face of disrespect, you're not giving up control, you're taking control. You're refusing to let anyone drag you down to their level. You're choosing to rise above the chaos. And that's not weakness. That's strength. That's discipline. Think about it: the people who can keep their peace in the midst of chaos are the ones who truly win in the long run. They're the ones who come out on top. Silence is your weapon, your shield, your armor. It protects you from negativity. It deflects disrespect. It keeps you focused on what really matters. The long game of silence. Choosing silence isn't always easy. Your instincts will scream at you to respond, to defend yourself, to fight back. And sometimes, it might feel like you're letting them get away with something. But you're not. You're playing the long game. You're showing that their words don't hold power over you. You're proving that your sense of self isn't tied to their opinions. And that kind of strength? That kind of self-assurance? It's untouchable. Silence is an investment in yourself. Every time you choose silence, you're making an investment in yourself. You're protecting your peace of mind. You're preserving your energy. You're creating space to grow and focus on what truly matters. When you stop giving energy to negativity, you free yourself to build, create, and thrive. The truth about silence. Let me leave you with this: silence isn't about being passive. It's about being powerful. It's about knowing who you are and standing firm in that knowledge. It's about refusing to let anyone dictate your worth or pull you into their chaos. So the next time someone comes at you with disrespect, remember, you don't have to respond. You don't have to play their game. Hold your silence. Stand in your strength. Let your dignity speak louder than their words ever could. Because at the end of the day, silence isn't just the absence of words. It's the presence of power. And when you wield that power wisely, you win. Every single time. Mastering the power of silence, strength in discomfort. Have you ever been in a situation where someone disrespects you? It's sharp, it stings, and your first instinct is to fire back. Your emotions rise like a storm inside you, ready to defend yourself, to put them in their place. But what if I told you that the most effective way to win isn't to react, but to stay silent? I know, it's uncomfortable. Silence, in the face of disrespect, feels counterintuitive. It feels like you're letting them off the hook, doesn't it? But let me tell you something: that discomfort, both for you and the person disrespecting you, is where the real growth happens. That silence isn't just a passive act, it's a power move. It's a declaration that you are in control, not them. Silence, the space for power. When someone disrespects you, they're trying to pull you into their chaos. They want you to react, to get emotional, to stoop to their level. But when you take a breath, hold your tongue, and let their words hang in the air, something powerful happens. That silence? It's unnerving. It forces them to sit with their own mess. Suddenly, they're left wondering if they went too far, questioning their actions, doubting themselves. They'll never admit it, but deep down, they know they've lost the upper hand. You didn't give them what they wanted. You didn't let them pull you down. And that's what matters. Reacting versus responding, the power of choice. Let me make something clear. I'm not saying you should let people walk all over you. I'm not telling you to be a doormat. What I'm saying is this: learn the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional. It's quick. It's raw. And most of the time, it's not thought through. It's driven by anger, hurt, or frustration. Responding, on the other hand, is intentional. It's calculated. It's a choice you make, not something you're forced into. And sometimes, the most powerful response you can give is no response at all. Think about it. What happens when you're in an argument and the other person suddenly stops talking? They just go quiet. That silence? It's unnerving, isn't it? It leaves you questioning everything. Did you go too far? Did you say something you shouldn't have? That silence creates space where the other person has to sit with their behavior, reflect on their words, and confront the weight of what they've done. When silence speaks louder than words, disrespectful people thrive on attention. They poke and prod, looking for a reaction. They want to see you flinch. They want to feel like they have power over you. But when you refuse to give them that reaction, when you stay silent, calm, unbothered, it's like pulling the rug out from under them. They're left performing for an empty room. And let me tell you something, that kills them. It forces them to look in the mirror, to realize the problem was never you, it was always them. Why people disrespect you, and why silence works. People who disrespect you are often looking for something. Validation. Power. Control. They're not getting it from somewhere else, so they try to take it from you. They're hoping to trigger a reaction because that's how they feel powerful. But when you don't react, when you stay calm, grounded, and silent, you're telling them, without saying a word, you don't have that kind of control over me. Your words, your actions, they don't define me. That's where the real power lies. The weight of silence. In a world where everyone is quick to speak, quick to defend themselves, and quick to clap back, silence is a rarity. And because it's rare, it's powerful. Silence forces people to confront the weight of their own words. It makes them realize, maybe for the first time, that they were out of line. And even if they don't have the maturity to admit it right away, that silence lingers. It sticks with them. They start questioning themselves. They start reflecting on their behavior. And that kind of introspection? That's more powerful than any argument or comeback could ever be. Silence isn't easy, but it's worth it. Let's be real, choosing silence over reaction isn't easy. It takes strength. It takes control. We're human. We want to defend ourselves. We want to stand up for our dignity. That's natural. But here's the truth, that immediate need to respond? That's where we lose control. That's where we let someone else dictate our actions. When you choose silence, you're reclaiming that control. You're saying, I'm not going to let you pull me into your storm. I'm staying in my peace. The long game of silence. What happens when the person disrespecting you keeps coming at you? What if they don't stop? Listen, disrespectful people will keep poking and prodding as long as you give them a reason to. But if you stay consistent, if you refuse to feed into their negativity, eventually, they'll get tired. People like that thrive off attention. They need an audience. But when you take away that audience, when you refuse to participate in their drama, they have nothing left. They're left with themselves. And most of the time, they don't like what they see. The true power of silence. When you choose silence, you're not just avoiding confrontation. You're making a statement. You're saying, I know my worth, and it's not up for debate. Your negativity has no place in my life. I refuse to let you define me. And that kind of confidence? That kind of strength? It's rare. It's powerful. When you choose silence, you're investing in yourself. You're protecting your peace, your energy, your dignity. Silence is the ultimate power move. So the next time someone disrespects you, I want you to take a breath. Hold your tongue. Let them stew in their own mess. Let them feel the weight of their own words. Because that silence? It's killing them. They'll never admit it, but deep down, they know they've lost. They know they failed to pull you down. And in the end, that's what truly matters. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to respond to every slight. Your silence is your strength, your power, your declaration that you are not defined by someone else's negativity. Stay quiet. Stay grounded. And watch as the world shifts around you. Because in that silence, you'll find a peace and a power that no one can touch. And that, my friends, is how you win. Every single time. The strength of silence, choosing power over reaction. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to feel the pull to respond immediately. Your emotions flare up, your pride kicks in, and every fiber of your being wants to strike back. But let me give you a little perspective. When you react without thinking, when you let your emotions dictate your actions, you're handing over your power. Now imagine this: instead of snapping back, you pause. You take a breath. You choose not to engage. In that moment, you reclaim your power. That silence, that restraint, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's control. And it's the ultimate display of confidence. Who are you? The defining question. When someone disrespects you, they've already shown you who they are. Their words, their actions, they're out there for the world to see. But the real question is this: who are you? How you respond to disrespect says more about you than it does about them. Their actions are already done. That's their story. But your response? That's yours. Responding with silence, with grace, with restraint, it speaks volumes. It shows a depth of character that no sharp-tongued comeback ever could. It demonstrates maturity, self-respect, and a level of control that commands admiration. Breaking the cycle of negativity. Here's the thing about disrespect, negativity, and anger: they're contagious. When you engage with them, when you let them pull you in, you become part of the cycle. You become part of the very energy you want to avoid. But when you stay silent, when you refuse to give negativity your energy, you break that cycle. You rise above it. And this isn't just about protecting your peace, though that's important. It's about setting an example. It's about showing the people around you that you don't have to stoop to someone else's level. You don't have to play by their rules. Why calm people command respect? You ever notice how the calmest people in the room always seem to command the most respect? They're not the ones yelling, arguing, or trying to prove themselves. They're steady, grounded, unshaken. That's because they don't give away their power. They don't let other people's actions dictate how they move through the world. They move with intention. They choose their battles wisely. And when they do speak, their words carry weight because they don't waste them on trivial things. That's the kind of person you want to be. The kind of person who doesn't need to respond to every slight, every bit of disrespect, because you know your worth. And your worth isn't up for debate. When to speak and when to stay silent. Now, I'm not saying silence is always the answer. There will be times when you need to speak up, when you need to stand your ground. But the key is knowing when. You have to learn the difference between reacting out of emotion and responding with intention. Reacting is emotional. It's impulsive. It's driven by anger or hurt. Responding is calculated. It's intentional. It's grounded in clarity and control. And sometimes, the best response is no response at all. The gift of space and clarity. Here's the beautiful thing about silence: it gives you space. Space to think. Space to process. Space to decide how you really want to handle the situation. When you react immediately, you're acting on impulse. You're letting your emotions take the wheel. But when you choose silence, even if just for a moment, you're giving yourself the gift of clarity. And when you move from a place of clarity, from a place of intention, you move with power, setting the standard for respect. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, you're doing more than just protecting your peace, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're setting a standard. You're saying, I won't lower myself to your level. I won't engage in negativity. If you want to be in my presence, you'll have to rise to my standard. And let me tell you, people will either rise to meet that standard, or they'll fall away. Either way, you win. Either way, you're protecting your peace, your energy, and your dignity. Silence isn't weakness, it's power. Let's make something clear, silence is not passive. It's not avoidance. It's an active choice. It's the decision to stay grounded in who you are, regardless of what's happening around you. It's the decision to not let someone else control your emotions or dictate your actions. And that kind of self-control, that kind of strength, that's power. When you stay silent, you're not avoiding the situation, you're handling it on your terms. You're taking control of the narrative. And in doing so, you're preserving your energy for the things that truly matter. The impact of silence. People will notice. They'll see that you don't get rattled easily. They'll see that you're not someone who can be baited into petty arguments or back and forths. They'll realize that your silence isn't submission, it's strength. And over time, that strength will command respect. The long-term power of silence. Here's the thing, when you stay silent, you're playing the long game. You're not giving in to the immediate satisfaction of clapping back. Instead, you're investing in yourself, your peace, and your future. Every time you choose silence, you're making a statement. I know my worth. Your negativity doesn't define me. I'm in control of my emotions. And that kind of confidence, that kind of strength, it's unshakable. The choice is yours. So the next time someone disrespects you, I want you to ask yourself this: who am I? Are you someone who reacts without thinking, handing over your power? Or are you someone who moves with intention, with grace, with strength? Because at the end of the day, how you respond isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about protecting your peace. It's about standing firm in your worth. And it's about choosing power over reaction every single time. The power of silence, owning your worth and protecting your peace. Let's be real, when someone disrespects you, the urge to clap back is strong. It's natural to want to defend yourself, to prove them wrong, to set the record straight. But what if I told you that the most powerful move you can make isn't to respond, but to stay silent? It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's not about ignoring disrespect. It's about choosing how and when you engage. It's about knowing that not every battle is worth fighting. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's self-control. And it's a declaration that your peace, your energy, and your self-respect are more important than their words. Silence speaks louder than words. When someone disrespects you, they're trying to get a reaction. They want your attention, your energy, your words. But when you refuse to engage, when you let that silence hang in the air, you're sending a message: if you want my attention, you'll have to come correct. You'll have to approach me with respect. That silence is powerful. It forces them to sit with their own behavior, to feel the weight of their words. And trust me, they feel it. They may never admit it, but deep down, they know they've lost the upper hand. They know they failed to pull you into their storm. The priceless value of peace. Here's the thing, your peace is priceless. It's more valuable than any argument you could win, more powerful than any comeback you could throw. When you choose not to engage, you're protecting your peace. You're refusing to let someone else's negativity disrupt your spirit. And in this life, peace is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. I've been in situations, both in my career and personal life, where people have disrespected me. And I've learned that not every battle is worth fighting. Some battles you win by walking away. Some wars you win by staying silent. The moment you choose not to give someone the satisfaction of your reaction, you've already won. You've taken control of the situation. More importantly, you've taken control of yourself. Choosing your battles wisely. Let's not sugarcoat it, staying silent isn't easy. Disrespect cuts deep. It hurts. It stings. But when you feel that pain, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? Is this person worth me stepping out of character for? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. When you understand that, silence becomes easier. Because silence doesn't mean defeat. It means you've decided your peace, your self-worth, is more important than their words. Flipping the script. Life will always present people who try to provoke you. They'll throw out insults, passive-aggressive remarks, or comments designed to push your buttons. That's their game. Their goal is to control your emotions, to dictate how you feel. But when you choose silence, you flip the script. You're saying, you don't get to control me. You don't get to dictate how I respond. In those moments, when you remain calm and composed, you're making a statement, not just to them, but to yourself. You're saying, I am above this. I won't allow your negativity to infiltrate my peace. And that's powerful. Operating from a place of peace. When you choose silence, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're choosing peace. And when you operate from a place of peace, you become unshakable. You become resilient. You become someone who can handle whatever life throws your way. Early in my career, I faced criticism and disrespect that cut deep. I was told I wasn't good enough, that I wouldn't make it. Those words hit hard. My initial reaction was to fight back, to prove them wrong right then and there. But I learned something crucial: engaging with that negativity would only drag me down to their level. Instead, I chose silence. I chose to focus on my craft, to invest my energy into honing my skills rather than wasting it on battles that didn't serve me. And you know what? That silence became my strength. I let my work speak for itself. I let my actions show my worth. And in doing so, I found peace, and that peace became my greatest weapon. Growth through silence. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, you're not just protecting your peace. You're giving yourself space. Space to reflect. Space to rise above. Space to channel your energy into something positive. You're not weighed down by the toxicity of someone else's words. Instead, you're free to focus on what truly matters. And that's where real growth happens. The power of self-control. Here's the truth: silence takes practice. It's not a skill you develop overnight. It requires a commitment to yourself, to your self-respect. You have to remind yourself constantly that your worth isn't dictated by someone else's opinion. Your value is intrinsic. It's rooted in who you are, not in what others say. When you internalize that truth, staying silent becomes easier. How silence transforms you. When you refuse to engage, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're actively choosing your path. You're taking control of the narrative. Silence allows you to observe. You see things clearly when you're not caught up in the noise. Reflect. You gain clarity about what really matters. Strategize. You decide your next move from a place of intention, not emotion. You're no longer in reaction mode. You're in observation mode. And that's a powerful shift. Setting standards through silence. When you stay silent, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're saying, if you want my attention, you'll have to come with respect. I won't engage with negativity. And let me tell you, people will either rise to meet that standard, or they'll fall away. Either way, you're winning. Silence is not weakness, it's power. Don't confuse silence with weakness. Staying quiet doesn't mean you're letting someone get away with disrespect. Silence is an active choice. It's a decision to stay grounded in who you are, no matter what's happening around you. It's a decision to not let someone else control your emotions. That kind of self-control? That's real power. Taking control of the narrative. When you stay silent, you're not avoiding the situation. You're handling it on your terms. You're preserving your energy for what truly matters. You're refusing to waste your breath on people or situations that don't deserve it. And here's the thing, people will notice. They'll see that you don't get rattled easily. They'll realize your silence isn't submission, it's strength. And over time, that strength will command respect. The final word? The next time someone disrespects you, take a moment. Don't react right away. Let that silence hang in the air. Let them sit with their own behavior. Because in that silence, you'll find your power. You're not just protecting your peace, you're declaring your worth. You're taking control of the narrative. And in doing so, you're setting a standard for how you move through the world. A standard of dignity, respect, and unshakable self-worth. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the presence of power. And when you choose it wisely, you win. Every single time. The transformative power of silence, a masterclass in self-worth. There's a moment when someone disrespects you, a sharp comment, a dismissive tone, a blatant disregard for your dignity, and your instincts kick in. You want to defend yourself, to fire back, to set them straight. It's natural to want to retaliate. But let me offer you another perspective. What if the most powerful move you could make is silence? This isn't about weakness or letting people walk over you. This is about mastery, over yourself, over the situation, and over the narrative of your life. Silence, when wielded wisely, is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have. It speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Silence sets the standard. Your silence sends a clear message: I know my worth, and I won't settle for less. When you refuse to engage in negativity, people notice. They see the strength it takes to stay calm under pressure. They see the dignity in your restraint. Over time, they come to respect you for it, whether they admit it or not. You're setting a standard for how you expect to be treated. When you carry yourself with grace and dignity, you're teaching others that they can't treat you any old way. Your silence becomes a powerful statement of self-respect and self-worth. Silence makes them reflect. Here's the thing, when you choose silence, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also forcing others to confront their behavior. When you don't react, when you don't lash out, they're left with their own words, their own actions. And let me tell you, that's often more uncomfortable for them than any argument you could start. Your quietness gives them space to reflect. They have to sit with the weight of what they've done. Sometimes, that's all it takes for someone to realize their mistake. But remember, your silence doesn't mean you're accepting their disrespect. It doesn't mean you're letting it slide. It means you're choosing a higher path. You're prioritizing your peace over the need to fight every battle. Not every fight is worth it. Ask yourself this: what do I gain from engaging in this conflict? Do you really think winning the argument will make you feel better? More often than not, it doesn't. It leaves you drained, frustrated, and even more upset than before. When you choose silence instead, you regain your power. You maintain your dignity. You protect your peace. And that's a victory that lasts long after the moment of conflict has passed. Silence and emotional resilience. The more you practice the art of silence, the stronger you become. You grow your emotional resilience. You become less reactive, less affected by the chaos around you. You rise above it. You see the bigger picture. And that's liberating. You're no longer tethered to someone else's negativity. You're free to navigate your life with purpose and intention. Protecting your peace, the ultimate act of self-love. Protecting your peace is the ultimate act of self-love. It's about creating an environment where respect is the norm. It's about understanding that you deserve to live a life free from unnecessary drama and conflict. When you demand respect through your silence, you're showing others how to treat you. You're setting the standard. And let me tell you, that's not just powerful, it's transformative. The trap of retaliation. It's tempting to jump into the fray, isn't it? The instinct to defend yourself, to clap back, is strong. But think about it, what do you really gain from that fight? Winning the argument might feel good in the moment, but at what cost? More often than not, retaliation leaves you feeling drained, frustrated, and disconnected from your true self. But when you choose silence, you gain something far more valuable. Your peace. Your dignity. Your emotional well-being. You reclaim your power. And that's a victory that no argument can ever provide. Silence as a boundary. Let's talk about boundaries. Silence doesn't mean you don't set them. It doesn't mean you let people continue to disrespect you. On the contrary, silence is a form of boundary setting. It's you saying, I'm not going to engage with this. I'm not going to lower myself to your level. It's an active choice to remove yourself from negativity and toxicity. It's a declaration that your energy is too valuable to waste on petty conflicts. The message your silence sends. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, you're communicating more than words ever could. I am in control of my emotions. I value my peace above all else. I know my worth, and it's not up for debate. And here's the beauty of it, your silence speaks not just to the person who disrespected you, but to everyone around you. People notice. They see that you're not easily rattled. They see that you're someone who moves with intention, who doesn't waste energy on negativity. And over time, that commands respect. Choosing silence is choosing freedom. When you choose silence, you're choosing freedom. Freedom from the emotional roller coaster of someone else's drama. Freedom from the negativity that tries to infiltrate your peace. You're saying, I refuse to let your disrespect define me. I refuse to engage in your negativity. I will rise above. That attitude? It's a game changer. A final thought. The next time you find yourself facing disrespect, take a moment. Breathe. Don't react right away. Let that silence hang in the air. Let them sit with their own behavior. Because in that silence, you'll find your strength, your peace, your power. Silence isn't just about what you don't say, it's about what you choose to value. And when you value your peace, your self-worth, and your emotional well-being above all else, you'll find a strength that can't be touched. So embrace it. Let it empower you. Because in this life, you have every right to protect your peace, to set your standards, and to choose how you respond to the world around you. Your silence speaks volumes. And in that silence, you'll discover a power that can transform everything. The art of silence, mastering your power and protecting your peace. In life, there will always be moments when someone tries to belittle you, provoke you, or make you feel small. Disrespect is inevitable. But what defines you isn't the disrespect itself, it's how you respond. Or better yet, how you don't respond. Let me be clear, silence is not weakness. It's strength. It's control. It's the ultimate power move in a world that thrives on reactions. But to wield silence effectively, you must understand its purpose. Silence isn't about sitting there fuming over what you wish you'd said. It's about detachment. It's about letting go of the need to defend yourself because you know who you are, and you don't need anyone else to validate that. Silence and self-worth. When someone disrespects you, your silence sends a powerful message. I won't let your disrespect define me. Think about it. The people who truly know and care about you don't need to see you engage in a back and forth to understand your worth. And the people who don't care about you? They're not worth your time anyway. By remaining silent, you're asserting control over your narrative. You're refusing to let their words dictate your actions or emotions. And in a world where so many people are quick to react and retaliate, your ability to stay calm and composed sets you apart. It shows maturity. It shows strength. It shows self-awareness. And most importantly, it shows that you know your worth and won't settle for less. The long game of silence. Here's the beauty of silence. It may not feel like a victory in the moment, but over time, it proves to be one. When you stay silent, you allow time to reveal the truth. You don't have to argue, you don't have to defend yourself, and you don't have to prove your point. Time has a way of shining a light on what's real. Your silence becomes a slow burn. It doesn't happen overnight, but eventually, people will see who you are and who they are. And when the truth comes to light, your silence will have spoken louder than any words you could have said. Choosing yourself through silence. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, you're making a choice to prioritize yourself. You're saying, I don't need to engage in this drama. I don't need to stoop to your level. I choose peace over chaos. In doing so, you're protecting your energy, your dignity, and your peace of mind. You're holding on to the pieces of yourself that matter most, your joy, your strength, your sense of self-worth. The danger of reaction. Now, let's look at the alternative. Imagine someone insults you. You have two choices. React and engage. You fire back, trying to defend yourself, trying to prove them wrong. But what happens? The situation escalates. You say things you don't mean. You get pulled into their negativity. And in the end, you feel drained, frustrated, and disconnected from your true self. Choose silence. You take a breath. You don't engage. Instead, you give yourself time to process, to think, to reflect. You preserve your energy and maintain your dignity. And in doing so, you rise above the chaos. Silence isn't just about avoiding conflict, it's about reclaiming control. It allows you to step back, assess the situation, and decide how you want to move forward. Silence as reflection. When someone disrespects you, it can feel like an attack on your values. But if you engage in the chaos, you risk losing sight of what's important to you. Silence, on the other hand, gives you the space to reflect on your own values. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What kind of person do you want to be? By choosing silence, you reaffirm those values. You remember who you are and what you stand for. And that clarity becomes your strength. The art of silence. Let's talk about what it means to truly master the art of silence. 1. Detach from the need to prove yourself. Silence is about detachment. It's about letting go of the need to defend yourself because you know your worth. When you're confident in who you are, you don't need to convince anyone else. 2. Focus on what matters. Not every battle is worth fighting. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this worth my time? Is this worth stepping out of character for? Most of the time, the answer will be no. 3. Let time work for you. Remember, the truth always comes to light. By staying silent, you give time the chance to reveal the truth. And when it does, your silence will have spoken louder than any argument ever could. 4. Protect your peace. Your peace is priceless. Don't let anyone take it from you. By choosing silence, you're choosing to prioritize your emotional well-being above all else. 5. Set boundaries through silence. Silence doesn't mean you don't set boundaries. On the contrary, silence is a form of boundary setting. It's you saying, I'm not going to engage with this. I'm not going to lower myself to your level. The power of self-control. Silence requires strength. It requires discipline. It requires self-control. When you stay silent, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're taking control of the narrative. You're choosing how you want to respond, not just to the person who disrespected you, but to life itself. You're saying, I am in control of my emotions. I value my peace above all else. I refuse to let your negativity define me. And that level of self-control? That's real power. The final word? In life, you will face disrespect. You will encounter people who try to pull you into their drama. But how you respond is up to you. You can choose to engage, to react, to defend yourself. Or you can choose silence. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the presence of power. It's the ultimate declaration of self-worth, self-respect, and self-control. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, take a breath. Step back. Let that silence hang in the air. Because in that silence, you'll find your strength. You'll find your peace. And you'll discover a power that can't be touched. Your silence isn't just killing their negativity, it's freeing you. And in that freedom, you'll find the life you truly deserve. The transformative power of silence, a masterclass in emotional detachment. There's a lesson in life that few truly master, knowing when to stay silent. It's not about indifference, and it's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about emotional detachment, the ability to separate yourself from someone else's negativity and to recognize that their disrespect is a reflection of their character, not yours. When you can master this detachment, you free yourself. You're lifting the weight of their words off your shoulders, allowing yourself to rise above the noise and the chaos. It takes practice. It takes courage. But the rewards are profound. Silence is emotional freedom. Choosing silence isn't about not caring, it's about refusing to let someone else's words dictate your emotions. It's about realizing that their disrespect doesn't define you. Their negativity is a reflection of who they are, and when you can separate yourself from it, you free yourself from its weight. This freedom allows you to soar. It liberates you from the toxic burden of anger, frustration, and pain that others try to impose on you. Yes, staying silent when every instinct tells you to fight back is hard. But as you practice, it becomes easier. You develop emotional resilience. You learn to spot the triggers and recognize when someone is trying to pull you into their drama. That awareness? It's a game changer. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between chaos and peace. Silence as a boundary. Silence is a boundary in itself. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, you're telling others, I will not tolerate this. I won't engage in your negativity. It's a statement, a standard, and an expectation. And when you consistently uphold that boundary, people take notice. They begin to understand that disrespect has no place in your life. But here's the thing, setting boundaries through silence doesn't mean you have to be cold or unkind. You can maintain your silence with respect and dignity. It's about standing firm without engaging in conflict. When you do this, you not only protect your peace, you also inspire respect in others. The ripple effect of silence. People notice when you carry yourself with dignity and grace. They see the strength it takes to remain silent in the face of disrespect. And often, your silence becomes an example. It encourages others to rise above their own pettiness. It shows them a better way to handle negativity. It's a quiet but powerful form of leadership that has the potential to inspire change in others. Reflect on your experiences. Think back to a time when someone disrespected you. How did you respond? Did you react emotionally, or did you find the strength to remain silent? How did that silence serve you in that moment? Every encounter is a lesson. Whether you handled it perfectly or not, there's always something to learn. Don't beat yourself up if you didn't respond the way you wanted to. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every time you choose silence over chaos, you're building your emotional resilience. You're strengthening that emotional muscle. And eventually, you'll become a master of it. Choosing yourself through silence. When you choose silence, you're not just protecting yourself from others, you're showing yourself respect. You're affirming that your peace is worth more than their words. You're declaring that your worth isn't tied to how others perceive you. You're reminding yourself that you have the power to define your reality. That's liberating. The strength in emotional detachment. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you refuse to let someone else's negativity control your emotions. It's recognizing that you don't need to defend yourself against every insult. It's knowing that the people who truly matter in your life don't need to see you engage in petty conflicts to understand your worth. And those who don't matter? They're not worth your time. When you stand firm in your silence, you're saying to the world, I won't let your disrespect define me. That's power. Silence is not weakness. Silence isn't about running away. It's about standing tall and refusing to be pulled into someone else's storm. It's about choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and self-worth over validation. It's a profound act of strength, maturity, and self-awareness. In a world where everyone is quick to react, your ability to remain calm and composed sets you apart. It inspires others to rethink their own approach to conflict. Every encounter is a lesson. Every time someone disrespects you, it's an opportunity to grow. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How did I handle it? What could I do differently next time? This journey isn't about getting it right every time. It's about building the awareness and the strength to navigate these situations with grace and confidence. How silence transforms you. When you choose silence, you protect your peace. You reaffirm your self-worth. You create space to reflect on your values and priorities. You set boundaries that teach others how to treat you. Over time, this practice transforms you. You become less reactive, less affected by negativity. You develop a sense of inner peace that is unshakable. And when you carry that peace with you, you attract people who respect you, uplift you, and value you for who you are. The power of self-worth. At its core, silence is about self-worth. It's about saying, I value my peace. I value my energy. I won't let your negativity define me. And when you approach life with that mindset, everything changes. You start to cultivate relationships built on mutual respect. You begin to navigate the world with purpose and intention. In closing, silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a profound statement of strength, self-worth, and resilience. The next time someone disrespects you, remember this. Your silence is your shield. Your silence is your sanctuary. Your silence is your pathway to peace. Let your silence be a reflection of your power. Let it speak louder than any words ever could. Because in the end, the most important voice you'll ever listen to is your own. And when you stay quiet, when you refuse to engage in disrespect, you're telling yourself and the world, I'm worth more than this. I'm worth peace. I'm worth respect. I'm worth staying true to who I am. Stay quiet. Stay strong. Stay you.